Have you played any demos from the E3 stuff?
Have I?
Yes, you, my
Me? Are you talking
partner.
to me, the only other person here?
Not the
are you
listener.
Talking to me or yourself? Oh, I thought you were speaking to the listeners here. Travis
Listen.
and Emily or whatever.
Travis and Pastrana was the other one, actually.
Pastrano? That sounds like a fucking uncured meat of some form.
It's our two listeners, one Travis and the other one Pastrana.
Pastrana. Okay, that's fine.
Okay,
to answer your question, no, the only demo that I've ever played in my life was the Undertale demo. I know. It's fucked. Dude, I love Undertale.
Me too.
It's really good. I love that game.
When I did my my top 20 games of the generation, Undertale was number 5.
5? Wait, what was above it?
Wait, is that too low for you? I thought that was that's high.
I mean,
I feel like
okay. Let me think.
So the way
Elysium.
the way I framed it was, generation is kind of bullshit. I was just thinking about it in terms of time. So the PS4 came out in 2013 alongside the Xbox One, and then the Xbox Series and the PS5 came out in 2020. So I'm thinking of all games released between 2013 and 2020.
You just do all games of all time. Where does it fall on your all games of all time list?
We don't have 5 hours to commit to that because that's how long that would take me.
You haven't thought about that?
No, not that deeply.
Oh my gosh, what a plebeian.
Dude, the games of the generation stream, I streamed it. That took me like 4 hours.
Oh, where you're plotting everything out and deciding?
Yes, that's what I'm talking about. Like I can tell you
it came on to 5th.
Yes.
Okay.
Like I can tell you in order my favorite games of the generation from 1 to 20.
Damn.
It's fun, dude. I like doing that kind of thing, but it's like if you really dig into your feelings about these things, it's hard. It takes a long time.
Super time consuming.
Yeah. And like I was listening to music, I was trying to take myself back into those moments and watching videos. It was fun. Like it was a fun exercise. It was a great stream. I enjoyed the hell out of it.
Dude, Undertale is my second favorite game ever.
Really? Nice.
Yeah.
Behind?
I love Undertale. Behind?
Which game?
No, I know what you're saying. I was pausing for dramatic effect.
Oh, sorry.
No,
I'm too anxious. I'm an anxious man.
Please tell me, Disco Elysium. I would probably have to say at this point. It's very good.
That's wow, dude. That is wow. That's
it's
all
so
I can
good.
Say. I could just say wow.
Wow, dude, my father. No, I'm actually a junior detective now on Steam with my Disco Elysium badge. I'm pretty proud.
You're a little dick, as they say.
All right.
What's up?
Well,
just
I
a
can't
synonym.
believe you would comment on my size like that. That really
just a
hurts.
synonym to junior detective. Thank you. I don't know why you're being perverted.
I'm not. My father's name was Dick. How dare you?
Well, that guy sucks shit, dude. I hate him. I beat him up today.
Oh my god!
Is it really though?
No, it's not. My father's name is Albert.
Oh, what a loser! Oh, is he a butler too? Shit.
Butler? Dude, you are a huge fucking bigot. You you are judging people based
all that
off
British
of their
blood.
Oh yeah, I think. Well, so actually weird. My whole life I was led to believe that I'm of German heritage.
Yeah, you've told me that.
I guess that's actually not the case. We're like Transylvanian or some bullshit.
I can see it, dude.
Dude, I was like, what?
You look like a peasant who gets swooped up by a vampire. Yes.
Dude, I'm the vampire. Fuck you. I am cool and a vampire.
Absolutely no fucking way.
I'm hot and cool and also a vampire.
Dude, you're not a fucking vampire. You're
Dude,
a peasant.
You're just fucking jealous. It's fine. It's totally
of
fine
what?
for you to be jealous. Of how fucking cool I am.
Of how much you look like you fucking herd cattle?
herd
as a
cattle?
peasant in a
Dude,
Transylvanian.
vampires have to they have to survive on cattle sometimes if they're not trying to
I
suck the blood
know.
of people.
And so
So that's the only cattle I'm
you're
herding.
well, you're the peasant that is tending to that field.
Do you know what the fuck you are? Do you know what you are? You're a big stinky poop.
I can't disagree, but I don't. I just want.
Well, I can't disagree with that. That does sound like a fact.
Dude, the other day when I was streaming, God, this was one of the funniest things that's ever happened to me on stream. I don't think chat was nearly as amused. But I was sitting back down after going to whatever, and I went to grab. I was like talking to chat or whatever, and out of the corner of my eye, I see my headphones. And so I reach over to grab my headphones on my desk. And when I do, I immediately freak out visibly on my face because my hands are suddenly very wet. And I didn't know why grabbing my headphones would make my hands wet.
Wait, what?
And so I look over and I didn't grab my headphones. I grabbed my coffee mug that's full of coffee.
You like dipped your hands in it, or?
I was holding my mug, but it was also still full of coffee.
Oh man.
So like all my fingers, like not my thumb because it's on the outside of the mug, but the 4 fingers that are not the thumb were all dunked inside like I'm fucking.
Oh, like you're a donut or something. Just
exactly.
Right in there.
And I was holding my mug like, let me put these on my ears now.
Oh my god, that's so funny.
Because it was like it happened, I freaked the fuck out, and then I burst out laughing. And everyone in chat is like, dude, what?
What just happened?
Yeah, because you couldn't see it all, so like they just thought I was a lunatic.
Dude, yeah, no, for sure. Sometimes it's really hard to convey a joke with chat, you know what I mean?
Yeah, because you don't get the audio sort of response. It's hard to hear. They don't laugh. You know?
Right. No,
or like,
most definitely.
If they are laughing, it's up to them to communicate if they want you to know that they're laughing.
Type LOL in the chat.
And so often people want to continue the joke, and so it's like, yeah, it's weird. Like jokes do fall flat so often, not because they didn't actually affect the people who listen to it, but because they didn't actually give you the feedback.
Right.
You know?
Dude, definitely.
That's why during the pandemic, like a lot of comedians had to innovate new ways to talk to their audiences because like the first thought is just go on Twitch and be entertaining. That's not what they do. Like they do.
Like they thrive off of like the feedback from the audience,
need it.
which you get to a degree from Twitch, but sometimes it's a little delayed.
Yeah, it's delayed and you don't. Yeah, it's not the same. It's like
there's no reading faces or anything.
Right. It's like trying to have a conversation with someone. Like you're trying to have a sincere heart-to-heart sort of conversation and they can only reply via delayed text message.
Dude, yeah.
Imagine telling a joke in that context. I'm not saying you can't be entertaining at all. I'm just saying that they do a different thing.
It's just different. Yeah,
right.
I mean you're entertaining in an entirely different way at that point.
Exactly. Their goal is to make laughter. And when they can't, if they don't know they're making laughter, and so they had to innovate in all these really interesting ways, which is just to say that, yeah, like Twitch, it provides this very like kind of vulnerable look at you, but there's this complete sort of disconnect in return. I guess there is no reciprocity from chat, so there's like this weird sort of like, yeah, here we go, the fucking jester.
Dude,
whatever.
Yeah, a little bit. No, I totally agree
but
with
that.
I
fucking love it. I love being the jester. It's why I goof around here with you.
No, it's great.
Know? Yeah.
And honestly, I don't know. I will say Twitch has like much more of a like audience like feedback versus like YouTube where it's non-existent, right? Like you're getting live feedback versus a bunch of comments and shit on the video later.
Right. And most of the time, the only people who are commenting are they're not doing it to provide meaningful feedback. They're doing it to like, or engage in any sort of meaningful way. They're doing it to engage with the comment section.
Right, with each other.
Exactly. So it's
totally.
There isn't the same sort of interaction. It's like comment sections on YouTube are generally unhelpful. They don't provide any value to the video or the creator of
Right.
the video. They exist as this separate thing for
It's like the fucking Wild West. There's no
yeah,
telling what's going on down there.
the weird YouTube subculture that likes to comment, which is probably 0.2% of all YouTube users.
Dude, I have never commented on a fucking video, I don't think. Unless it was like responding to somebody.
Hmm. I've commented on
Actually,
videos that
I'm
I've been
thinking.
involved in it to some degree.
Yeah, I was gonna
That's
say
it.
if it's like if it's a friend's video or I'm responding to comments on my own videos, I'll respond. But I've never like watched a fucking video, like a totally detached from my life video, watched it and then like left a comment on it.
Dude, I know. Yeah, same. It's fucking weird.
Yeah.
Cause
I mean, it's fine. Like, obviously, there are people who do that, but I just can't imagine doing that.
yeah, it's strange. It's very strange. Like, it's weird how we've adapted to, you know, convey our opinions. Like,
Dude, yeah.
we have these whole new formats that have sprung up in the past few years that have never existed in any sort of way to any degree in the rest of human history. And so, like, we have these weird public forums where you can be completely anonymous, like the YouTube comment section, have no connection to anyone involved in any of this process, but then you insert yourself in a way that is like incendiary and causes problems and people get pissed, or you just want to fucking put a meme ass joke, you know? Like, that's it.
Right.
It's it's fundamentally a weird thing.
It is strange. It is definitely strange. I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah. Man,
It's very weird.
imagine the pandemic happening in 2006, right?
I can't. I
Wouldn't like I
things would be so different, I think.
yeah. They would have been. Like,
Which it's kind of wild too to think about, like, maybe if we hadn't had the pandemic now, how different would things be? You know,
right. Like, would you be
10
streaming?
years down the road. Dude, no, I don't think I would. I don't think I would have ever started streaming if not for the pandemic.
Yeah.
Because
I
I dabbled in like YouTube, and I streamed on Twitch before and like another little thing, but it was never consistent with it. Like, it was once every fucking 6 months or something. But
right.
yeah, like with the pandemic brought this like newfound like consistency, and like, I mean, there's nothing else to do, right? Like, you kind of have to sit down and do it at that point.
Yeah, like, I mean, taking up a hobby is what a lot of people who were trying to maintain a fucking healthy mindset, or, you know, trying to maintain a good mental health, they started picking up hobbies, you know, and trying to do things that occupied their times in new ways or whatever. And for you,
Yeah.
that was streaming. I had coincidentally just started not too long before the pandemic really exploded, because I started in the summer of 2019, and so by 6 months after I started is when the pandemic really started, basically.
Yeah.
And so, like, I was kind of occupied in my streaming stuff already. And it was just such an interesting thing to be a new streamer, but already have my little bit of an audience when the pandemic started, because then there was this huge influx of streamers.
Oh, that's true. That's true.
Right. And viewers as well. There was
I
a
have way
huge,
more viewers. Yeah.
right.
Exactly.
So there was just way more people on Twitch, even just within just a couple months. It was just a really interesting thing to kind of witness and be there, like, be in it while it's happening, you know?
Dude, definitely, definitely. I think you got in at a really great time.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe so. As far as that goes, man, like, I started.
Like, honestly, any time is a good time, right? But like, I
Oh, for
think
sure.
you got in at a good time to see like a big explosion of an audience because of like the mass volume of people
Yeah.
migrating toward Twitch.
Right.
Which
That's
is, I mean,
true,
it
that's
feels
true.
good, right? Like, that's super positive reinforcement.
Right. Like, if you look at it that way and you kind of map it out, like, there was this kind of, over the last year or so, it does seem like there's been, Twitch has always kind of grown. Like, from
Yeah.
its beginnings, just in fucking TV or whatever, there's always just been it's been spreading in ubiquity. Like, it just continues to grow. But that arc was fucking steeper over the past year,
Right.
specifically because of the pandemic. And I think if I look at my experience as a streamer, I can kind of map and see that within those 9 months or so when it first was starting, like, I was growing in a way that I wasn't before, and that I'm not since, because there was just more. There were just more people.
Dude, so many people on there with
Yeah.
nothing better to do.
Exactly. And now, like, we're going
What-
into the summertime, things are opening back up, and so it's slowed down, which is totally fine. Like, I'm not.
It's slowed down monumentally. It's
Yeah.
super fucking slowed down.
Yeah. It's just really, really interesting to kind of see it. But like when I first started streaming, it was in 2017. But like you, I didn't stay consistent with it.
Right. Yeah.
And I started doing other forms of content, you know, in the time
Right.
between, and which led me to then streaming again, weirdly enough.
Yeah.
Going back to The Witcher. But anyway, yeah, I don't remember.
Dude, I can't believe that was the first game that the both of us streamed.
Yeah, isn't that wild?
Isn't that crazy? Like to completion, right? Like cuz I had
Yeah.
streamed like fucking Stardew Valley or whatever, some bullshit, but that was the first like legitimate like single player experience that I went through from start to finish and streamed the whole thing.
Right. I will say that. So when I first started streaming back in 2017, there were a couple games that I beat then that were
Right.
not The Witcher, but this version, this run of Middle Grey,
Streaming.
yeah, The Witcher was the first game. In fact, since you and I talked about this last, my completed games list, I went and added those games I beat in 2017 because I was like, fuck yeah, I beat those on stream, why not? And so now if you go back
I
and
need
look
to
at that,
see this.
if you go back and look at that list, now Fire Emblem Three Houses is not the first game I beat. It's either Hellblade or Horizon Zero Dawn.
Yeah, let me see. Hellblade.
Yeah, that
It
makes
is
sense.
Hellblade. Man, that's so cool. Fuck. Dude, this list is too long. You gotta move this somewhere else.
Yeah, I know. I've been thinking about doing that for like 6 months, but I've just not done it.
Where do you even put it, you know? Like, where do you put this?
I know there are websites that are like, what's that Goodreads? What that website that's like a social media that kind of, it's a digital library. You can kind of keep track of all the books that you want to read or have read. I used to use it quite a bit actually, but I've since stopped. But anyway, there are websites like that for games, and like I could totally just have my own and link to it, below my, you know, in my stream information or whatever. But like I said, I just haven't fucking taken the time.
Dude, definitely. I just noticed on your merch stuff here,
Mhm.
the hoodie's color is warm gray. Was
Yeah.
that
Yes.
intentional?
all of my all of my all of my merches are labeled like that. Like the
Your
women.
long sleeve is long boy.
Okay, what's the girl stuff?
Let me see. Oh, you gotta stay safe, little Marsky. Poop logo holds coffee really well. Hello, ladies. Winking face.
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny.
My women's merch is hello ladies, wink. It's so
Oh
stupid.
man, dude, that's so funny. Wow, these actually aren't that expensive. I kind of expected the merch to be more expensive.
So what I did, and I don't, this is just kind of what Teespring recommended, was they had a recommended value based on like the whatever. They're like, hey, here's what we think it should be, and then I just rounded up to the nearest dollar, or maybe
Okay.
nearest fifth dollar. I don't think there's anything that's like other than a 5 or a 10. You know.
Yeah, yeah. The sweater's like 30. That's not bad for a sweater.
Poop
I
logo. Oh
played-
yeah, that's just
Fucking six. God, my cat. Please, please, please stop meowing. She won't quit.
dang,
Dude, you're
man.
close to 1,000 followers again.
I am. Yeah.
Yeah, that's so exciting.
Can I just say, since we're talking about that stuff, I've been
Yes.
playing Dead Space again, that whole fucking trilogy, and they're
Yeah.
talking about like a reboot or bringing back the franchise in some way, right? And
Oh, are they?
yes, well, I'm
I didn't
sorry,
know
they're
that.
not talking about it. There have been leaks that it's coming back,
Oh, wow. Really?
like pretty credible stuff. But we
Gotta see
also know
this.
that Visceral, some of the people who made up Visceral, who was the team who made Dead Space, some people who made up that team have left. Well, actually, EA fucking closed Visceral. They were like,
Oh
no more
wow.
Visceral guys, and so those people, disbanded, and some of them, including Glenn Schofield, who was like the main dude over Dead Space, they went over and founded their own studio, and they're making the Callisto project, which looks, based on one like cinematic trailer, it looks amazing. It looks like exact,
Really? What is it
yeah.
called? Calypso?
Uh, I think it's Callisto,
Oh,
Callisto, or Callisto, something like that.
the Callisto Protocol?
Protocol, sorry, yes, not project.
My project.
So those people are making that game. So that's like a Dead Space sort of spiritual successor. And then there are leaks
Oh,
coming out of EA that they're bringing Dead Space back. So Dead Space is going to come back. It's just really exciting that we're going to get some
that's
more of that shit.
interesting. Dude, yeah, Dead Space was my fucking jam when I was younger.
Yeah, it's so good.
It's a really good game. It's
Yeah.
super. God, I need to replay Dead Space. I need to stream that at some point.
They're really good to stream. It's been a lot of fun. It's like I'm playing through 2 again. I'm pretty far. I think I'm like maybe 2/3 of the way in. Um, it's just interesting how many years it's been since I've played these games for the first time, and like how I can kind of see what they're doing better now because I have a better like language for games now than I did when
Right.
I was a teenager. And like the first Dead Space was their attempt at doing a real sort of horror game.
Yeah.
It's fairly actiony, but it's like it's horror more than
It's
anything
horror. No,
else.
yeah, I would totally say it's a horror genre first.
Right. And like Isaac doesn't really say anything. He grunts, and but that's pretty much
Right.
it. There's a little bit of story, but it's not super deep. But then you get to Dead Space 2, and then Isaac is a dude who just fucking he was like, "Oh, I guess I'm hungry now. I'm going to munch on this candy." Like he's just he talks all the time. He's just
Right.
always talking, and I'm not criticizing. This is just the
This is
change.
different. Yeah.
And the game is like more of a shooter than it is horror. Like there are horror elements, but like there's so much combat, it sucks some of the fear out of it. But also the
Dude, yeah, Dead
combat is
Space 1 was
really
way
good.
scarier. Yeah, no, I will say the game feels and plays really good too.
Yeah, and in 2, everything's a little faster and more and tighter. So like Isaac moves better, the necromorphs move better. Everything just feels better. And so like even it's almost like a Gears of War like mashed with the first Dead Space kind of game, and
Right.
it's fucking great. Like there's more story, there's more characterization. It's just a really great evolution of what that first game was.
I agree. I totally agree.
And I never actually
I
beat the third, so I'm excited to do that.
really, I don't know if
Yeah.
I beat the third either. The third is the multiplayer one, right? The
Yeah,
co-op.
right.
Okay, that's what I was thinking too. Yeah, I didn't get super far in that at all. But based off of what I played, it was, it was fine.
Yeah, so I remember liking things about it. Like they did some cool stuff with the co-op shit. Like your co-op partner may see some things on their screen that you don't see, and so like they
Yeah,
play
that's
with.
kind of cool.
Yeah, they had some really neat ideas there. But I remember more than anything just kind of feeling bored with it, which is why I'm excited to do this new playthrough because
Mm-hmm.
when I played it, I was fairly bored and I wasn't super engaged. But I'll go in with different expectations this time, I guess.
Sure.
Like I really want to engage and see what it is because I just wasn't last time. And even though I like some bits about it, I just wasn't interested enough to even finish it. So
It reminded me a lot of like it seemed like they went from horror to more of like Resident Evil, which in my brain is much more actiony. It felt way more actiony, very like it just gave me super fucking Resident Evil vibes.
dude, I would actually say, and I know I'm the more Resident Evil one here, so this is it speaks to that interesting sort of dynamic.
Hmm.
The first Dead Space is more actiony than like 70% of Resident Evil. The first one,
That's true, but I mean Resident Evil has like all the puzzles and like all
right?
that shit too, which is kind of taking away from the action.
Yeah. So I would Dead Space 2 is more actiony than anything in Resident Evil, apart from maybe RE6. I'm talking about mainline. I'm not talking about spin-offs. They've done all sorts of weird shit in spin-offs. But
Right.
as far as mainline Resident Evil, that Resident Evil 6 is the most actiony, and maybe 2. I think 2 is even more actiony than that though. Like 2 is Dead Space 2 is fucking. It's like a shooter with horror in a horror environment. It's like what?
Yeah, it didn't really. It didn't really grab me. I don't remember very much about 2, which I guess is definitely saying something.
Yeah, maybe. Oh man, I would love it if you played through that again because 2 is still maybe my favorite of the trilogy. It's just interesting how just looking at it differently as as an older person is making this experience.
Dude, yeah, definitely.
It's exciting to be talking about Dead Space again, I guess.
I know, no, it totally is, because that seriously had like a little chunk of my childhood for a while.
Yeah, dude.
So it's nice to kind of like have this sort of like weird nostalgic revival circle jerk.
Yeah, everyone who's streaming now had a section of their life where they were like, dude, that first Dead Space was awesome. And like
and it was
now,
so scary, dude. People were like, dude, this is the scariest fucking thing since sliced fucking bread. Like, it's so scary.
Dude, I remember when they sliced bread the first time. That shit
that was
me. I couldn't sleep for a week.
Dude, I still can't. It still really fucking creeps me out, that slicing of the bread.
Dude, when my mom brought me in, I remember the fated day my mom brought me into the kitchen. She said, Tyler, you're not prepared for this. The scientists, they're out of control. They did it this time.
They did it. They've really done it.
And
They've
she showed me a video on that old fucking computer we had, that gateway, the CRT monitor.
Right.
Dude, I shat my pants. It was green.
I cried. I started to vomit. I was shaking. I had a small seizure. It was very scary. It was very jarring. Completely altered my worldview.
They shut down flights. Like Southwest Airlines, Delta, all those, they were like, no more flights for the next couple weeks. We got to figure out this bread situation.
They didn't know what slices of bread that fine would do.
Yeah, it was a turning point in humanity.
Very scary. Yeah.
Like in 100 years, 200 years, they will look back at this moment as one of the turning points in our evolutionary process.
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, this is the most important discovery that I can think of ever.
Yeah. Pretty important. Dead Space was almost as that good.
Almost that fucking revolutionary.
Dude, it was so good, dude. Dead Space 1, are you shitting me? The first time you played it?
It was very scary.
It was unbelievably good. Like,
it was so scary.
Good. Yeah,
dude, if I play fucking scary games, I can play for like, a couple hours or something. But then I have to fucking put it down. I have to put it down because like my heart will be pounding and like I'll be like clenching my fucking, like I get so worked up and I have to stop, or like I just don't enjoy myself because I'm so freaked out.
So this is it. You haven't played any horror on stream, have you?
I mean, outside of like Phasmophobia and then that multiplayer game where like you can't talk. Yeah.
That's true.
I mean, like, mostly just multiplayer stuff. I've not done a single-player horror game on stream, ever.
Okay. Do you get affected very easily by horror games?
I mean, yes. Like, it literally incites a physical fucking response for me. Like my body begins to shut down. It degrades as I play.
How did you... Like, it's so interesting because I don't really get affected by horror anymore. It doesn't do anything to me. And so, like, I look at the scenes in The Witcher, like when you're on Skellige and you're doing that mission with the Heim and the baby and the oven and the fucking black ooze dripping from the walls.
I don't know if I've done that.
What?
Is that a main story thing?
I guess it doesn't have to be. I think that might be
like black ooze coming out of the walls? Baby in an oven.
You help. Okay, so who did you appoint?
Oh, I think I know what you're talking about. I don't remember any ooze.
All right, minor spoiler alert for The Witcher 3 because we got to get into this. I got to figure this out.
All right, everybody please click off and come back in X time.
You should do that. If you haven't played The Witcher 3, it's my favorite video game of all time. Please don't let us spoil this for you.
Is this like a pivotal thing? Is this that big of a spoiler?
It's pretty big. It's a pretty big spoiler.
Okay,
so who did you appoint to be the leader of Skellige?
I don't remember.
Was it the girl or her brother?
Um. Oh shit. God, I don't. I know who you're talking about. I don't remember.
Man, I'm trying to remember.
I'll have to go back and watch the VOD. I don't remember at all.
Dang, dude.
Like my gut reaction is the girl.
Yeah.
But I can't say for certain.
Hjalmar. That's the brother, Hjalmar, and I'm trying to remember her name. I'm really bad with names, dude.
Dude, same.
I've played more The Witcher 3 than any other single player game in my life, and I can't remember that lady's name. And she's a very important character.
She's cool.
She's awesome, dude. Yeah.
She's a badass.
I've never actually done a playthrough where I appoint Hjalmar to the throne, and I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna do that next time.
Really?
Cause he's outside of his mind. He's like, "Hey, Geralt, let's go party and shit." And he's just always wants to fight.
He's just Kuno grown up.
But he's like cool Kuno, not annoying Kuno.
I mean, you grow out of that, right? You grow out of your annoyingness. So yeah, I mean, he's just grown up Kuno.
He's like adult Kuno who's like just down to fucking throw hands, and he wants to have a good time.
I'll fucking throw rocks, fucking high velocity.
Dude, he honestly, like, I love Hjalmar, but I never appoint him to the throne because he'd be a terrible leader.
Yeah.
But he would be fucking great to hang out with. You'd have a great time with that fucking guy.
He'd be a great friend.
Yeah. He's big, like, take care of some if you get to a squabble. Hjalmar, please.
Please handle this fool.
All right, let's go. High fucking velocity.
He throws a rock and fucking shoots at her head like a bullet.
Oh, man. So anyway, what were we... Oh, anyway, yeah, so there's a quest line.
Oh, yes.
There's a quest line.
With the baby.
Yes. When you go down into the basement of that abandoned house on that mountainside, like there's this like viscous palpable darkness down there that like suffocates light and shit, and it turns out to be
I don't know if I went to the base. Did you have to go in the basement?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Like you get to make
that's just not memorable for me.
You do make some decisions in that quest line, so I'm trying to remember if it's possible to make a decision not to even go and do that mission, but I can't. I always do it because it's a great mission.
You trick the thing by putting you have to do something deplorable.
Right,
and so
correct.
You trick it. But I don't remember anything. I don't remember that being scary at all, no.
Okay, that's fine. I just remember that being a scary part of the game, or like their attempt at doing some sort of like horror or whatever.
No, at no point in The Witcher was I scared.
Yeah. That makes sense. You kind of play a superhero.
Five Nights at Freddy's is scary.
I've never played it.
Have you not?
No, I've never played it.
Dude, okay, that's like the perfect example of like I have to play this game for only fucking 20 minutes or I'll actually fucking die.
Dude, I successfully have managed to avoid like all the meme games.
What is another meme game?
Among Us. I've never played that.
Oh, you never played Among Us? That was actually a pretty fun game.
Yeah, no, I'm sure all these games at their core are pretty good, but I've just never played them.
I mean, yeah, otherwise I guess they wouldn't be so popular. No, Among Us was fun. Five Nights at Freddy's was fun. It was just like, I mean, it was fucking scary for me.
Right. So anyway, demos.
Ah, yes, demos, of course. Yeah, the only one I've played is Undertale, and that game is phenomenal.
Oh, yeah, it was my 5th on my Game of the Generation.
Ah, yes, we fucking loop.
Do the exact same thing.
Fucking go back. Yeah, exactly. Oh, yeah, so, okay, you're playing Dead Space right now.
Uh-huh.
What is coming up after Dead Space? I mean, like, you're doing 2, and then you're gonna go to 3. Yeah, what are you intending on playing after Dead Space 3?
So I'm definitely finishing Mass Effect 3, which I'm in right now. As you can tell, dear listener, we've been talking about a lot of these games for a long time because it's the middle of the summer. We're busy as fuck, so I don't get much game time.
Dude, so fucking... I literally haven't streamed for a week. I was in New Orleans, and then I was just busy as fuck as soon as I got back. I've had no fucking time to stream.
Yeah, I keep missing stream. Like, I had a vacation, and then I keep missing streams here and there just because of stuff that's going on.
Dude, yeah.
And it's getting in the way of, and I hate it. Like at some
It's kind
point,
of frustrating. I just want to play games.
yeah, it's hugely frustrating. Like I'm things are not bad or wrong or anything. Like I'm doing things that I want to do, you know, like we went to the lake on a day and I missed a stream and, you know, just stuff like that.
Right.
But like when I come home, it's like, fuck, I haven't streamed in a couple days and it feels bad.
Yeah, dude, I hate it because my game upcoming is Outer Wilds. I'm actually gonna play that. That's the next one on the list. Yeah, I'm very excited.
Oh fuck.
No,
Oh
like
God.
I'm gonna play that. I held like a big vote in my Discord, and I think it was like 3 for Hellblade, 3 for Outer Wilds, and then 3 for Banjo-Kazooie.
Nice.
But Outer Wilds got the first 3 votes. Then Hellblade got 3 votes, yeah, and then Banjo. So that's where we're at. I think that's gonna be my order.
Nice. Dude, Outer Wilds is very high on my Game of the Generation list.
Yeah, where is that one?
Do you want me to? Can I read you my list?
Yeah, let's hear that list.
Oh, dude.
Lay it on me.
This is such like a just like a pat on the back sort of thing. This is
Dude, it's
so
literally me the other day when I was
lame.
fucking reading my Amazon wish list. Or whatever. You're fucking good. Don't worry about it.
All right, the number 1 is The Witcher 3. Number 2 is Red
Yeah,
Dead
you love
Redemption
that
2.
game. Okay.
What was that? What was that?
Okay.
What?
No. I'm listening. I
Okay,
hear
okay.
you.
Number 3 is Disco Elysium.
It's a good game. Ooh, okay.
Number 4 is Breath of the Wild.
I agree with this list so far. This is a good list.
Number
Well-
5. Say it.
Minus, I guess, like Red Dead. I haven't beaten Red
Yeah.
Dead 2. I
Oh,
haven't beaten
man.
it. It's
That-
great. It's fucking great, but I haven't beaten it.
Yeah, that's one that you'll have to get around to in like sometime within the next year. Like no rush. It's long as fuck. Just sometime in the next
Yeah.
year.
I need to.
It's unbelievably good. As the placement on my list, I hope indicates. All right, well, Breath of the Wild is number 4. You remember number 5.
Yes.
Number 6 is Divinity Original Sin 2.
Right. You've spoken about that game. You're a big fan of that game.
It is my favorite co-op video game of all time.
God, that's such high. We need to play that sometime, dude.
Yeah, I know.
We also need to play more Dying Light.
Dude, I really do want to play Dying Light.
Yes, same. We haven't played it in a
Man.
while. I'm kind of looking forward to getting back into it. Cause like the beginning is a little rough, right? Because
Yeah.
you're kind of weaker. You can't craft or find particularly good weapons. But like, dude, once you get a bit further, you feel like a fucking superhero.
Right.
It's so like you feel so strong.
Once they open up the traversal with
Right.
giving you that grapple hook, it feels amazing. Like that game is just
It's
such
so
a fucking fun time.
good. It's so fun, man. Okay,
Yeah.
okay, game of the year. Sorry, game of the year. Or game of the decade.
Yeah, generation.
Okay, my bad. Generation.
Wait. All right. Divinity Original Sin 2 is number 6. Number 7 is Near
Yes.
Automata.
Really?
Yes. And actually,
Okay.
it may be swapped with number 8. I don't know. This is the thing about these lists. Like they're always subject to change, right? But number
Right,
8
sure.
is Outer Wilds.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Dude,
That's such hype. God, I'm kind of like worried going. Well, I guess I shouldn't be. because,
I'm not worried about setting your expectations too high. You're either going to love this game or you're not going to. Like this game, it's for
Is it super divisive?
not I wouldn't say it's divisive, but if you can handle like a difficult challenge, not difficult challenge like Sekiro, like I got to figure out these button presses, but like trying to figure out a mystery sort of challenge, if you can handle
I love
that,
that.
if you're a gamer who that appeals to, this game
You're
is
a
for you.
gamer.
And I felt like you are that sort of player.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
people who are not, they probably
Not
won't
gonna enjoy it.
stick on this game, and that's totally fine. I don't like. This is kind of a niche game in a similar way to Disco. Maybe a little more open to all sorts of players, but
Right.
if you like to solve mysteries, this is a perfect game for you, and that's it.
Oh,
There is no
I love
overhype.
solving mysteries.
There is no, I'm gonna sell it over. There's none of that. Do you like to solve mysteries? Yes, play it. That's it.
You'll love it.
That's
it.
it.
That's all. Goodbye.
Dude, yeah.
Just kidding.
Unless that person says, I love mysteries, but I hate science fiction. If they hate science fiction, don't play it.
Oh, I love sci-fi.
Yeah.
And mysteries.
Dude, I'm telling you.
I'm so excited.
Man.
Yeah, I'm stoked on it. I think it'll be cool.
Number 9, distinctly below Outer Wilds, Persona 5.
Really?
Yes. Yes, there is a gap between Outer Wilds and the rest of this list.
Really? So there's nothing else that's like just so fucking good that it like had to go in whatever position?
No, everything else after this is really fucking good, but there's like I want to put Nier below Outer Wilds for that reason, because
Right.
like Nier is fucking great and awesome and I love it, but there between The Witcher all the way down to Outer Wilds, those games are fucking in a different category for me personally.
Yeah. No, I mean, that's what like Disco Elysium is for me. It's like peak performance. This is the ideal male body. No, it's just like peak.
Yeah.
It's so fucking good. Like it's just beyond. It's almost incomparable. Like it's
Right.
beyond any other game in its genre.
There are people who say that about Outer Wilds. As well.
Really?
Yeah, and I'm not like,
God,
yes.
dude, you're making me want to play so bad. I'm about to just end the call right now. Just leave and go fucking play the Outer Wilds for a few hours.
I really feel like for a certain type of video game player, this
Yeah.
game speaks magically to them. Like it's
God.
in that way it's kind of niche, but it's either because like I've heard such strong opinions about this game from people who are like, this game is everything that I wanted it to be. It spoke to me, blah, blah, blah. And then person like their best friend being like, I bounced off of it after a few hours, you know?
Oh my gosh. Is it an emotional journey?
Yeah, dude. And you don't
Is it?
You don't really get that immediately, but like I told you last week, it has one of the most perfect conclusions to a game ever.
Wow. God. Dude, you're making me want to play really bad now. What the fuck?
The soundtrack is unbelievable. It is so good. And they don't overdo it. It's in the air, it's around you, it's part of the culture of the
It's just,
people
like,
in the
part of it.
game.
Right.
Yes. And so it's not overbearing, but it's beautiful, and it's like what the game is kind of going for. It captures those
Oh, man.
emotions.
Damn, yeah, you're really selling this. I mean, I've already purchased it, so you can stop, but I really want to play it now.
It's so good. I really, really love that game.
Gosh, man.
Yeah,
Well, yeah,
and
so
some
that's
there
my upcoming.
there are some traits about this game that are more impressive than any other game on this list. Like just in a sheer, like similar to Disco Elysium, where it's like I've never seen them do conversations like this in a game ever.
Right,
There are
right,
things
right.
about Outer Wilds that stand apart in a similar sort of way. That like it just
Really?
Outer Wilds and Disco elevated games that year. I'm telling you, they elevated like what can be accomplished in games. Not like I'm not saying that they made the best games that have ever been necessarily. That's so that's so
Right.
subjective. It would be foolish. But for people who are in the industry who like make games and stuff like that, it showed that it's possible to do extreme complexity and like also appeal to players, right?
Right.
Anyway, I don't know. I think that those games go so well together. Like there is inside me a fucking video essay or some sort of paper on how those games
Some
are
fucking film bro baggins.
There's a Film Bro Baggins video in me about how those games are related to each other.
Man, that's interesting. What
They
what is
raise-
one
Oh,
like
sorry.
mechanic or idea or something that sets this game apart from any other game you've ever played? Just one. And if you don't want to be spoiled for this, listeners, just come back in like fucking a few minutes or something.
I would say the scope of the interconnectedness of the game's world. Like I am always impressed by big complexity in games like Hitman 2 having some of these really big, or Hitman, just the new trilogy of Hitman games, having these big open levels
Like
and
really vast.
yeah, but
Yeah.
inside those levels, these extremely complex AI path and travel systems and stuff, and
Right.
all the different systems that the game gives you to fuck that up. Like those games, they have a kind of mechanical, chunky, crunchy complexity that I am really impressed with. Outer Wilds does that on a scale that I've never seen. And it is,
Interesting.
and there are unique ideas, like little pockets of unique concepts that they're like, hey, this is a cool idea. What if we did this? And then they just did it. It's, I don't know. It like they do that kind of Breath of the Wild magic of exploration as good as Breath of the Wild, I
Right.
think. But
Oh,
there's
wow.
more systemic complexity going on. I don't know. I'm not a programmer. I'm not a fucking architect of these systems. But just as a player, that's what it feels like.
Huh. That like what you're doing really, really matters, and it matters everywhere.
Well, I don't know if it's as much that because the game's message is kind of the opposite of that without going into dramatic detail.
Really?
It's more like the universe is happening around you and it is very magical and complex and you get to participate in it. You get to see it, you know?
Oh wow, you're lucky enough to be like a witness.
Right. It's always happening. You're just like fortunate enough to see it happen right now.
Right.
Yeah.
Huh.
Which is a beautiful parable about life.
Dude, yeah, exactly. You should be appreciative that you can even see what's going on around you. You can exist right now.
Yeah. Outer Wilds kind of gets to that.
Oh man, that's so cool. That's so cool. Ugh, I want to play.
Yeah. It's so good. My number 10 game
Yes.
of the generation, which now looking at this, I may actually move around
Really?
and move it up. Yes.
Move it up?
Yeah, up. Tetris
Tetris.
Effect.
Oh my gosh, that's so funny. Dude, you love that game.
I love it.
You love Tetris.
Yeah, but specifically Tetris Effect. I love Tetris
It's done well.
beautifully. I love that game.
Beautiful. Fucking very beautiful.
Number 11 is my game of the year from last year, Yakuza Like a Dragon.
Yes.
Yeah.
I
Then-
still haven't played a Yakuza game. I really need to.
They're so good, but like similar to Red Dead, it's I don't feel like there's this huge fucking need for you to play Yakuza right now. They're so good. But like just yeah, whenever you're ready to play some long fucking games,
Right, right.
Yakuza 0 is where you want to start.
Oh, really? Is
Yeah.
that the first in the series?
Chronologically speaking, as far as like where the story starts, yes,
Right.
because it's a
Oh, okay.
prequel.
Ah.
But they remade the first and second game, so if you want to start with the prequel, you can do that without having to go back and play a PS2 game for 1 and 2.
Oh, right.
Yeah, they were fucking big brain with the Yakuza series. They've done the Yakuza series like so like if you want to look if any developer wants to look at hey, how do we maintain and develop and cultivate a franchise over a long period of time? Yakuza is
We'll
number
look at
1.
Yakuza.
Well, maybe like Mario, but Yakuza is one
Right.
of the best examples. It's one of the
Huh,
best
that's
examples
interesting.
because they
Yeah.
started with a good idea with that first game. They perfected it or nearly perfected it in the second game, continued the series by just as technology improved, making the games bigger, making the combat better, making them more expansive, and just telling new stories in the
Right.
universe. So like each game is a little bit bigger, a little bit, hopefully more complex with its battle system, better with its battle system, and then just like telling new stories with these characters. It's like a soap opera in that way. It just keeps going. And like, new characters come in, old characters die. It's just fantastic. And then they got to a point where it's like, we got to figure out what to do with the main character. How do we send him off and continue this franchise? And then they were like, how about this? Let's do a prequel to the first game so that everybody can play this series all over again. And then we'll see him off and he'll get to go and have his glorious fucking ride into the sunset.
Aww.
And now they rebooted
smart.
they rebooted the franchise with the Yakuza Like a Dragon, which is a JRPG, and the Judgment series, which is in the framework of the Yakuza games, which is to say it's an action brawler. So now they have two different series, one that's like the old series and one that's a spin-off of the old series, but that has a new combat system like a JRPG, like fucking Final Fantasy. It's brilliant. Like they have done it so well, but it's so almost mundane. Like at no point did it seem like they were making these big, weird, fucking dumb shifts. They just had
Right.
they had some kooky ideas along the way, and some of them worked, some of them didn't. But by and large, they are at like 75% good idea success rate. Like
Damn.
they and it's by making small improvements over time. Like they just got a little bit better each time until now it's like this is one of the best franchises because they have this long-running success rate and these fucking people know how to do it. They just know how to do good games now.
Right. I mean, like they had their like core idea that's it's super solid, and then they just sort of like build slowly on top of that, with
Yes.
each iteration.
Dude, it's so impressive. Yeah, that's exactly right.
Huh.
Big respect
That's
to those people.
Gosh. Yeah, I need to play that at some point. I really do.
And then
Fuck, so many good games.
yeah, really. But at number 12 is actually my first From Software representation with Bloodborne.
Ah, Bloodborne. That was your first Souls-like, right?
It was my first to beat. Yeah, I actually played Dark Souls.
Okay.
I played the first Dark Souls when it came out, or like I rented it, and I didn't really care for it, and so I stopped.
Interesting.
But then Bloodborne came out, and the PS4 was still new, and I was like looking for PS4 stuff, and
Right.
dude, I saw the reviews, and it was just everyone was like, "This game is incredible," and I was just like Bloodborne proved for me that we don't always understand our own tastes. We don't.
Yeah.
We think we do, but we don't. And so we
Huh.
need to be challenged. We need someone else to challenge us from time to time and say, go into this with an open mind. I think you might like it. And sometimes they're wrong, and sometimes they're right. And when they're right, it's fucking magic. And it was magic for me with Bloodborne because when I finished that game, I was like, this is one of the most intriguing action RPGs I've ever played.
What draws you to it? Like, what's so good about that game for you?
So it starts with the addictiveness of trying to get good at the combat. Like
Okay.
you start to learn like how the combat flows, and it's like I want to get good at this, and it's you start like specking in a certain direction. Like okay, I want strength or I want whatever, and then you start to like figure out the right armor and the right weapon. So early on, for me, it's an interaction with the mechanics, and like this is so different. But sometimes for some people, it's enough. It's enough of a difference for it to be a turnoff.
Right.
But the second big trait, I would say the number 2 big trait for me is the exploration. And that's where I really
Really?
That's
Wait, is it open
yeah.
world?
No, it's like open in concept, but it's not open world. There are very small paths that you can go down.
Right. That's kind of what I was thinking. That was sort of the impression.
Okay, I'm trying to think of something to compare it to. It's like well, it's really like a Metroid game almost, where there are often locked doors that you have to unlock somewhere else that then creates a shortcut for you so you don't have to go the long way around. Like
Right.
the worlds are really complex in their design, but they always connect in a way that makes sense. So they're these
Right.
big open spaces, and maybe not open like you can run across this big fucking room, but by open I mean like the skybox shows an expansive city. It feels like you're in a real location, if that makes sense.
Right. Right. But in actuality, you're kind of like kept in this little box almost.
Right, exactly. And they do it's open in the way where like they have these open spaces that connect together, but all in all, it's not one big open world like in The Witcher 3 or whatever.
Right.
It's these
I
smaller
mean, it is pretty linear
yeah,
by design.
right. It's linear insofar as you're running from the starting point to the into the end point is the boss room, right?
Right.
But the
right.
stuff in between the starting point and the boss room is a maze of interconnected rooms
like
and
tunnels
hallways.
and-
Yes.
yeah.
And like figuring out how all that connects is the number one addiction for me with those games. I love explore.
Really?
Yeah, because it's tense. Death is always around the corner, so you're always like trudging forward with, sharp eyes, and if you're playing the games for the first time anyway, replays are less tense, of course. But for your
Sure.
first run through with these games, it's very like I don't know, just that kind of emotional connection to the game is really fun. And conquering it, like finally figuring out how all those paths connect, figuring out the best way through them, getting all the treasure and the loot, and then beating that fucking boss's ass, that motherfucker, but finally getting through that guy.
They're
It's
super hard, right? So all the enemies are hard, but the bosses are like fucking crazy hard, yeah?
it's yeah, on your first go around, I would say it can be
Yes.
hard, but it's more like in a less generic way, it's more like the difficulty is you die easily. Like it's not by hard. I don't want people to think that it's not approachable, because I think it makes
Right.
itself pretty approachable. It's just that you need to understand that you're pretty soft in these worlds. Like you
Sure.
die easily. So just be really cautious and protect yourself. People often, when playing video games, they just run in, da 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 da, hit, shoot, 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 shoot. These
Right,
games,
this is not like that.
they try to teach you caution and patience. And if you go
Mm-hmm.
into it like that, it's not that hard. It's not that
Yeah.
hard. Like, so often, I'm a very slow, methodical player of most games. And so
Right.
often, I just have a one life run from beginning to end between the first bonfire and the boss, because I play like that. I play cautiously, I play patiently, I try to play intelligently. And if you do that,
Mm-hmm.
the challenge is not what you think. It's not like this impossible Kingdom Hearts kind of boss where he's cheating and being an asshole. It's just that they're trying to teach you restraint.
Huh. It's like a little life lesson.
Yeah. Those games are great, man. And also, like,
Gosh.
talking specifically about Bloodborne, you asked why, why that one, or why those games. Bloodborne
Right.
has a really fantastic gothic horror and Lovecraftian sort of ancient gods from space.
Right. Yeah. I
Yeah.
think that's what drew my one friend to it. She's very into like body horror and that sort of stuff. She has like
Right.
the art book. She loves it. So you really like that aesthetic.
Yeah, I think I wouldn't call Bloodborne a horror game. I think that's a little
Right.
misleading, but I think in some
Yeah.
ways it has some of the best horror designed areas in all of game history.
Yeah, I mean from looking at like the like character and like monster designs and everything, like
Dude.
they're pretty badass.
It's amazing, especially when you come face to face and it's fucking huge and it's named after a part of the brain. It's just like
That's so cool.
it's like this overwhelming sort of horror, like oppressive atmosphere that just works, man.
Right. Man, that's so cool.
Yeah, dude, I love Bloodborne. Number 13 is Stardew.
Stardew Valley!
Yeah.
So fun. Oh, I love that game.
So good.
Dude, can you believe that one guy made that game? All of it? In its entirety.
I know, that's crazy. Eric
That is
Barone.
fucking wild. Because, like, even Toby Fox, Undertale guy, had some help with the
Right.
some of the sprites and stuff.
Yeah, like
But Stardew Valley guy did literally all of it himself. Programmed it, did the fucking music, did the fucking art. It's wild.
yeah, and from what it sounds like, it doesn't seem he would recommend that life to other people, because it sounded
No,
like he
he-
nearly killed himself while he was working on
Right?
that thing. Just
Yeah.
working himself to death.
Yeah,
And
that's what, because he was working a full-time job as well, I think.
at some points it was a long development
Yeah.
cycle. It took a long time, and he was like, through whatever website or his website or whatever, he would like give fans updates and stuff along the way.
Right.
But it took a really long time because he did it all himself. He did the music and the art and the programming and the writing, like everything.
Dude, I mean, there's a reason that teams are assembled to make games. That's so
Exactly.
much fucking work. That is
Exactly.
and that's like, it's a pretty fucking like complicated game. There's kind of a lot
Dude.
going on there.
Yeah, it is there are so many just different systems, the relationship stuff,
Dude, each of the characters have their
fish.
own schedules, dude.
Yeah,
There's
dude.
fishing, there's mining, there's fucking picking up like foraging, there's fucking a hat guy, there's a wizard dude, like plus there's all the events. It's just so much.
Yeah, and the events, exactly. Like there is so much going on. Like it is extremely impressive. Honestly, one of the more impressive things on this list because of that reason, because it's so expansive
And
it was
one
done by
fucking guy.
one dude.
Unreal.
Yeah.
I cannot. I need to look up how long the development cycle for Stardew was.
So there's actually a chapter on it in a book I read called Blood, Sweat, and Pixels. He talks all about it in that book. the Jason Schreier.
Really?
writer. Yeah.
Let's see.
Um.
My God.
Yeah.
Just tell me, please. Just please. All right, yeah. So it took the Stardew guy like 4 years.
Yeah, dude.
To make the game. That's nuts.
He's fucking nose to the grindstone.
No joke. I wonder if he's gonna make a second.
He is working on a sequel. It's
Is he?
It's like about bug catching or something.
What?
Or it's like kind of around that idea.
catching?
Yeah. You know that
Really?
Do you know that was the idea for Pokemon?
That you were just gonna catch bugs?
No, that was the idea that created the idea for Pokemon. Like bug catching, like, oh, we're gonna go out and catch some fucking fireflies or whatever.
Oh, that's what inspired people to make Pokemon.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yes.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
I did not know that.
That was like, yeah, because I don't know how
Holy
much, I don't know
shit.
what, like, I don't know how that looks in Japan, like what kind of bug catching they do. But growing up in the South, I always used to catch fireflies or whatever and put them in mason
same.
jars.
Put them in a
and
jar.
and then
Yep.
Fill it with gasoline and catch a fucking set it on fire, dude. You just killed
You
one
would not do
firefly.
that. You would not do that.
Spend like $1 on some gas and to kill one firefly.
You would not do that.
No, but yeah, we would catch fireflies and stuff and put them in a mason jar that had holes in the lid. What a waste of a mason jar lid.
Yeah, poking all the holes in it.
Yeah.
Maybe. I mean, you know, it's something.
Well, yeah,
you're
but
getting entertainment out of it. I mean, and you could reuse it.
I'm talking about
For-
for grandma. She can't put her green beans in it now.
Well, that's true, but it's only one mason jar and one mason jar lid. You can
That's
reuse
true.
it every year.
And grandparents always have 10,000 mason jars.
They do. I have fucking 1,000 mason jars. I'm not even old.
Dude, I
I'm
don't.
young.
All
I'm
of my
spry.
mason jars came from stuff that my mom has given me.
Yeah, same. Actually, same. Like,
We have several, and
Like-
yeah, they're just from that.
dude, yeah, family, friends, or whatever will give me like fucking like jams that they've made.
Yeah,
and canned,
exactly.
And, like fucking green beans and like fucking pickled stuff.
Or like a cold glass of water in a mason jar, and I'll be like, "Thank you, aunt."
A cold glass of water.
Or like, "Hey, here's some pixie sticks," but they'll hand it to me in a mason jar.
I feel like that's not true.
That's what I would. They would be like, "Here's your daily injection of hemoglobin in this mason jar. I'll go put it in you."
I just don't know if that's true. I just don't know if I believe you. It doesn't
Yeah.
sound real.
That doesn't sound right to me, buddy.
Yeah, I don't know about that. I don't know if I'll believe you. On
Hey,
that one, buddy.
watch it there, pal.
Hey, whoa! I don't know about that now, dude. Apparently, the fucking Eric Barone guy is making his new game is going to be within the same world as
Ooh.
Stardew Valley.
Yeah, I figure if bug catching is kind of the maybe primary idea for that game, just like farming was in Stardew, you're still gonna do 10,000 other sorts of activities, just like in Stardew.
Gosh, I
You know?
can't imagine how a bug catching game would work.
Dude, what do you mean? I'm not saying it. I don't know. It's whatever he wants to do, but bug catching created the Pokemon idea. There's so much space for
That's
creative
true.
potential around that idea. Like I'm sure it's gonna be a cool concept, whatever they end up, doing.
I mean, he seems pretty good with
Oh, yeah.
in terms of like game design and development. So I'm
We
I'm
only
sure it'll
have-
be fine. I'm sure it'll be good.
We only have one game to go off of, but right now he's batting 1,000.
But yeah, you're batting fucking 1,000%.
buddy.
I mean, it sold a bunch. Like it
Yeah, it
sold
did.
really well.
It did. Like every casual gamer I know, which fucking whatever. I'm not disrespecting that, but people like every person that I know that plays games just as like a thing they do once or twice a week or whatever. They
Dude,
play
it's a
Stardew.
super- Exactly, like it's a
Yeah.
super like easy thing to just pick up for people who don't normally play games.
Dude, my sister has played one video game in her adult life, Stardew Valley.
That's how a lot of like my one friend Ivy, like, I mean, she'll play games sometimes, right? But like I would consider her probably pretty casual, and she plays the fuck out of some Stardew, dude.
Yeah,
Like,
dude.
She has it on her Switch, she has it on PC, like she has it on fucking everything.
It appeals it appeals to the same degree of like importance to people who play video games hardcore and people who play video games once in their adult life.
Yeah, like it can be appreciated by both because
That-
it's like
there-
a fucking excellent game.
That is the
obviously, but it's also
spectrum.
really easy to pick up.
Boney, that's the video game spectrum. There is
Right.
no less of an audience than the person who played one game in their adult life. That is the
Yes.
smallest possible audience for a video game, and the largest possible audience is that it appeals to a pop, the pop culture sort, and it does. Like, it appeals to people who love games in all shapes and sizes. Are you a fucking shooter guy? Have you played Stardew? Yeah, it's a great game. You know?
Dude, yeah, it really checks all those boxes.
It's this wild crossover game. It's so good.
It's so good, dude. It's so fucking good.
Yeah. I guess in that way, it's kind of like a more sincere version of like what we were talking about with Five Nights at Freddy's and Among Us. Like it's a more like emotional, sort of sincere investment kind of game than those games.
Yeah, like not to discredit the developers, obviously, of either of those games, but like this guy, it's such a complex game,
Right.
by comparison. Stardew versus Five Nights at Freddy's or Among Us. Like
Right.
there are so many different mechanics. I mean, there's a whole fucking festival and shit, you know? Like
Yeah.
there's the whole of fishing, there's like going down into the fucking there's the fucking like desert thing. Like, dude, there's so much to the game. It's
Yeah.
unreal.
It
Versus like, hey, this is a very simple concept that's like very easily digestible. Stardew, I mean, is a fucking massive undertaking, and it still is widely appeling.
It
to
gets free
lots of people.
Free content updates all the time.
Right, multiplayer was
Multiplayer,
a really massive one.
Yeah, like if Eric, if he was being published by a AAA publisher, they would release that as a $15 pack add-on.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
But dude, because I own it, because I already own it on fucking 4 different platforms in this house, he can release that shit for free and as a thank you to the fans for buying it 4 times.
Dude, exactly.
You know,
and that's so cool.
I know multiple people who have purchased this game multiple times. Like that's normal with Stardew.
Dude, exactly. That's kind of what I was saying.
Yeah, I gotta play it on my TV. I gotta play it on my laptop. Oh, what's
I'm
that?
playing my PC as well.
My Switch?
Oh, you got it
Of
on
course.
phone? I'll get it. Sure. I don't fucking play mobile games. I'll just buy it anyway. I don't care.
And the phone version is good.
I don't actually. Is it on mobile?
Yes, I know a guy who.
Is it really?
I know a guy who only played it on mobile, and it was a great mobile game. Like
Holy fuck.
he's a Stardew fan now, and he
might
played it on his
actually-
phone.
I might actually buy it on my phone.
Like,
that would be a great game to play on like a fucking flight or something.
yeah, dude. Just starting a new farm. Like you could just play that forever on the flight. You don't need to stop unless you had to
That'd
sleep.
be so fun.
It
yes,
would.
Unless you must sleep.
Yeah,
Oh, I guess I can get on my Switch too. God, that's so exciting.
yeah.
But yeah,
Tremendous.
Stardew it appeals to everyone, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Young and old alike. There's something for everyone.
Yep. Absolutely. And I would also say, to a similar degree, there's something for everyone in number 14, Yakuza 0.
Another?
Yeah, there are 2 Yakuza games.
Another Yakuza game?
I think that's the only game that has 2 entries on this list. That's
Yeah?
Boney, I'm telling you. They're one of the most consistent developers in the industry. No one else has consistency like that on this list because no one else is on this list twice. I mean, Nintendo.
That is a good point.
Nintendo is
That's
on this
kinda
list.
crazy.
You know what I mean? Like, but there are different teams in Nintendo.
Sure. Right. And like entirely different concepts, right?
Exactly. They're different. They're franchises. This is one franchise
Mm-hmm.
and by and large one team.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Damn. Wow, that's a lot.
Do you like mob fiction, like mafia stuff?
I mean, I watched The Sopranos.
Yes.
I liked it a lot. Got
Yourself
some
a
gabagoo.
Oh, I said got yourself a goon. I was gonna say gun, but you messed me up.
Because I said gabagoo.
Yeah, got
Got some
yourself a
gabagoo.
goon.
A goon. You picked up a goon on the side of the road.
Which that could be something they would get a goon. Like Soprano.
Yeah, they would say that. That
Mr.
actually
Soprano
totally
has
matches.
goons.
Mr. Soprano. Mr. Soprano.
Do you think? All right, now this is
What?
some The Sopranos fucking breakdown happening right now. But do you think that?
Oh wait, are you gonna spoil something?
No, this isn't a spoiler. No spoiler for
Okay,
fucking
cool.
Sopranos. Do you think his therapist was his goon? Like, do you think she was working for him in that way? Do you think he was a fucking
No,
like he was playing her like that in the same sort of way that he would just a fucking goon, one of his?
absolutely not. No, I don't think so at all. I think if anything, she kind of had him in her pocket.
I don't know. I think she was sincere. I don't think that she was doing
I
that.
I think she was sincere, but I think that I think she was sincere. I think she cared about him and what he had to say more than she expected.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
she
for
kind
sure.
she I feel like she leaned on him a lot more than is expected in a professional relationship.
Dude, y- The Sopranos might be the best show.
It's so good.
It's so fucking good.
That's a fucking great show.
And so I recognize the importance and profundity when I say that Yakuza appeals to similar interests. The kind of
Really?
the interpersonal, emotional character work that you're talking about there with Tony and his therapist and stuff, but then also the good gang stuff, like what you said is, hey, you said, what about my mother? Hey, what you said, what about
But
my
it's instead of like Italian gangsters, it's like these. I mean, Yakuza.
Yeah,
right?
it's Japanese thugs, dude. It's so good. They're all
Right.
you know, it's great. And it exists in
It seems way goofier too, right?
oh my god. It in the same like the Sopranos had humor, right? Like there was tons of humor in the Sopranos.
But it was honestly super like the Sopranos like tackled some pretty hard shit. It was kind
True.
of very serious.
And they played their humor straight. Like whenever the
Yes.
son was being a fucking goof and like painting his face white or whatever because he thought he was emo or whatever the fuck he did, I don't remember.
Yeah.
Like Tony was always like, "What the fuck are you doing?" You know, they were playing it straight. They weren't.
Yeah.
But it was funny as shit.
They were being sincere. It was really funny, but like they were not attempting to be funny. It was just like, well, I mean, they were attempting to be funny, right? But it was
Yeah.
like sincerity on the characters. part.
Yakuza is that, but more extreme. Like it's like they get more cartoonish, but they're always playing it straight. Like Kiryu's never laughing.
okay.
Kiryu's not like the guy who's fucking gyrating his hips and wearing a diaper. Kiryu's not like, hey, that's funny. He's like, oh, he's like, what are
the
you
fuck?
doing? You're strange
Yeah.
and weird. Yeah.
Yeah, I
It's-
mean that would be how I think I would respond.
right,
well.
but
I'd be very
as an
confused.
observer, it's fucking hilarious.
It's funny as shit. Like you would laugh so loud if you like saw that. But yeah, I mean, if you saw the piece, I mean, I guess it's proven by seeing it and laughing. Like if you see that in media, it's funny.
Yeah. As far as my
But if-
love and that sort of thing, like I think the Goodfellas and Godfather and The Sopranos, I love mafia fiction. I think Yakuza deserves to be up alongside as an intellectual property, as an IP, as a fiction, as a universe. It deserves
Right.
to be alongside the other great mafia fiction that we look at in pop culture. It deserves that. I don't think it ever will be like recognized alongside TV
How
shows and movies. and-
popular is Yakuza
well,
as a franchise?
pretty popular these days, but I think it's more because it's a game. Like people are always going to look at it a little differently, as you should,
Right.
because it is a very different
Sure.
medium. But as far as just telling great stories about mafia, about a organized crime in a universe, that can kind of facilitate that. I think that those movies and TV shows that I mentioned did it as well as it's ever been done, and I think Yakuza also has, though. Like I think it also has shown organized crime and the interpersonal relationships that you can have in that universe and the drama, but also the comedy and the sense of humor that those like people who live in that sort of world can have. Yakuza shows that as well as any of those other franchises
Yeah.
have, I'm not going
Right.
to sit here and say that Yakuza 0 is better than the Sopranos or the Godfather. I'm not saying that.
Right.
But as far as like how well they can tell a story and how well they can show character development and emotional connection to these characters, dude, they do a fucking amazing job with that series. An amazing job.
Gosh, yeah. I mean, to get 2 spots on your list, that's a pretty big thing.
Yeah. Number 15. You might have something to
Yes.
say about this.
Let's hear it.
Hades.
Hades.
Yeah.
Oh, that game is so good.
Yeah, it is.
God, I actually want to play that game more, if I'm
Mhm.
being honest, but my controller's fucked up. Like, It's either the controller or the cord. I think it may be the cord, but like it doesn't register that I have a controller plugged in.
Oh
now.
no. Did you end up beating
Yeah.
that game on mouse and keyboard? Because I remember that happened.
No.
Oh, never mind.
Fuck no. I started with mouse and keyboard. Kind of got used to that. Then switched to controller, and now there's no way I could fucking go back to mouse and keyboard.
Okay,
I just
gotcha.
can't. I can't.
Yeah.
Which is why I have not been playing it.
Yeah, I remember. Trying to convince you that you should play on controller.
I know. Yeah, you were like, dude, I promise you, it's so much better. And I was like, but I'm already used to it like this.
Yeah.
I don't like change.
And I don't want to be. I don't want to be the fucking like. I'm not trying to fucking listen. You're not playing the right way. That's not ever what it was about. It was always just
No,
like I think that you
plays. It
Yeah.
plays way better on a gamepad, I would say.
I think that you'll have a
yeah.
better time even. Like
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. 100%. I totally agree with that.
yeah. So Hades is fucking awesome. It's my only Supergiant game on this list.
Great. Is it really?
It is. Yeah.
Gosh, that's nuts.
Yeah.
Supergiant's fucking great.
I
mean,
adore their
circle
games.
jerked it. We've circle jerked it on here before, but yeah, they're fucking wonderful. We need to play Pyre at some point.
Yes. Oh god.
Yes, we need to do it.
Yeah, Pyre is so good. I was thinking about it today actually. I was listening to a podcast and they mentioned how there's a game that came out recently called Griftlands, which has been in early access for a while. I think it just hit maybe 1.0 or something, or I don't remember.
Oh wow.
But it's always sounded cool
exciting.
to me, and I've just been waiting for the right moment to get in. And I think whatever
Right.
whatever happened recently,
Yes.
is
Might be your entry.
this might be the time for it. But anyway, they were describing it, and they were saying that they do like hyperlinks in this game where if there's like a proper noun or something, you can hover over it with the cursor and it'll describe it in a smaller text window.
Oh. Huh.
Which I think is a cool idea, and I remember Pyre does that.
Really?
Yeah, and I remember seeing that in Pyre, and it's not the first time a game has done that. Like point and click adventure games have done this. Certain like RPGs have done this on PC, but it's not a common mechanic that you see in games, but it's super helpful.
Not at all. Yeah, no, totally. I totally agree with that.
Yeah. And anyway, I remember Pyre did that, and I was just thinking about how much I love that game. I would definitely want to play through that thing again.
God, I need to play Bastion as well. I still haven't played Bastion, their first one.
Yeah. They're all good, and they all hold up. So, like, you could play Bastion next, you could play Pyre next. It wouldn't really matter. If you wanted to, like, well, I don't know. I was about to say, if you wanted to kind of track the progression of the studio, you could go back to the first
Right.
one. But also, you just played the second one right after playing the first one, or their newest one. So
That's true. Yeah, exactly.
and they
But
both,
no, yeah, like Transistor totally fucking holds up. It's fucking great.
yeah, as well
mean,
as Hades, and Hades
Exactly.
just came out.
Exactly. It's fucking unreal. And yeah, Transistor, yeah, was their second game.
Mhm.
So that's fucking wild. That's so crazy to me.
Yeah,
They're such a talented studio.
yeah, they are. And then below Hades,
Yes.
is a game that I think, because of the nature of the way they release these games, I'm just gonna put the newest one on there, is Hitman.
Mhm.
Um,
Oh yeah. Because the newest one like includes all the what is that one called?
Exactly.
Blood Money? What is that one? No, it's not Blood Money. What is it called? The newer one?
well, so Hitman is confusing because they did they did their first run of the game, which was 1
Right.
through Absolution, and that was 2 Silent Assassin, 3 Blood Money. Wait, no, there was. I'm sorry, there's another release in there somewhere. I can't remember, but fuck it. They had an original run of that series, and then they kind of ended it, and they rebooted it with this new trilogy that's just Hitman, Hitman 2, and Hitman 3. No
Dude,
subtitles.
Hitman 2 is fucking free on Steam.
Pick it up.
Yeah, right? Shouldn't I?
Yes, absolutely. So what I want to say, though, is that of the
Sorry.
trilogy, of the trilogy's like bundles of levels, right? So Hitman 1 has a bundle of levels, Hitman 2, and Hitman 3. I think
Yeah.
2 probably has the collection of best levels, but since you can import all the 1 levels and the 2 levels into Hitman 3, Hitman 3 is just the package of the entire trilogy. That is the best version of Hitman that's ever been, and that's why it's number 16 on this
Because
list.
it's all of them. Hitman 3 is the one with all of them, right?
Yes.
Oh wait, where? I don't see it here on Steam. Is it on Steam?
Wait, what?
Hitman 3.
I don't know.
Holy
I got
shit.
I got it on PS5. Well, So there was some really weird stuff that happened with IO over the past few years, as far as like being owned by a publisher and then being sold and then self-publishing and then having a contractual publication fucking agreement with Warner Brothers. I don't know like where all that game is available right now.
Damn, that sort of sucks.
Like it might be like Epic exclusive or something. That wouldn't be surprising at all if it was. You know?
Fuck, that's a fucking huge bummer.
Yeah.
Dude, okay, we've talked a lot about pixel art on this channel. I know this is so unrelated, but when I was looking for Hitman, I came across this game. There's this game called Party Hard. Have you ever heard of it?
That sounds familiar. It may have been talked about recently in my
It looks really fucking good. Like, this pixel art is really nice.
Yes, I did see this. This looks cool.
It's like fucking $2.50 right now.
Wait, actually, I don't know what this is. Never mind.
I'm gonna buy it.
Yeah, I do like that. I like that pixel art style where your avatar is like long, like they're very tall and long. I really like that style.
Me too. I just bought it.
Oh,
so
right.
but it's like fucking $2.50.
Yeah,
dude,
no,
that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying, dude. $60, $70 games, suck my fucking dick. I just got a game for $2.50. Earlier, I got 4 games for like $40.
Yeah.
Good fucking games.
Dude, you know what sucks? I totally lost track. Is that what sucks is that the reason why IO and developers like IO have to make fucking deals like that, like exclusivity deals with platforms like Epic, is because they don't get the sort of funding that they need to just release it how they want to release it to everyone.
Wait, really?
Well,
why?
Because they make very complex games that are very expensive to make, and they don't have the same sort of mass appeal as something like a Last of Us or
yeah, that makes sense.
Like
that
a core
sense.
franchise for a big publisher. They don't have the same sort of pop culture, mass market appeal. So they're kind of appealing to a niche, but they're very expensive, and so the return is smaller. And so they have to make like, very maybe not very exclusive deals, but they have to be very intentional about the kind of like publication sort of deals they make so that they can fund the game they want to make, but also allow their smaller audience, by comparison to the games that cost the same amount to make but have a bigger audience, allowing them to play it as well. So it's kind of it's like Hitman 2 probably it costs as much as any old AAA game to make, but it's not making them that much money in return because its audience is smaller.
Yeah. Dang.
Which is kind of a bummer, but that's also going back to Outer Wilds. I don't know. Maybe those developers have shown that you can do this sort of big idea, big complexity without having to, And I know the Outer Wilds didn't have the easiest development either. Like it was one of those games where they made a demo or like a proof of concept, and they took it to some shows, and it won all sorts of awards.
Really?
Yeah, because
I mean it's pretty. They fucking loved it, right? Like it's a pretty fucking respected game.
Yeah, extremely highly respected. And so after like whenever their proof of concept started gaining all this attention among like developers and industry people, they were like, okay, well let's do this into a full thing. And so they started like getting writers attached and people who could like money people. And one of the dudes who fucking worked on Heroes, the show, is involved in the production of it in some way because he went to the school or some shit that the people who made this game went to. And
that's interesting.
Yeah, it's just kind of like this. They kind of, I don't know. It's a miracle that this game came out in the way that it did, because there was just a lot of stuff that had to go exactly right.
For it to work, I guess.
Right. And it comes out and they nailed it. Like the thing they set out to do, they fucking killed.
That's hard. That's a hard thing to do.
Yeah.
It's a fucking tall order.
Right. Especially when you're trying to make the kind of game that they ended up making, and you'll man.
I'll see. I'll see.
Yeah. Number 17, and this is actually something that this was an addition after the fact, But number 17 is
Okay.
God of War.
That's right. You liked that game a bunch?
I loved that game after my first playthrough, but I didn't like it to the degree I do now until my second. And I didn't do my second.
Really?
I did my second playthrough this year, and I did it on the hardest difficulty, which my first time I did it on hard, and this time I did it on this Gimme God of War is what it's called. And I liked it more. Like it was
Right.
it was an overall better experience. And I don't like it to the degree that a lot of people do. Some people favorite game of all time, that sort of thing. I really like this game a ton. And so it ended up getting pushed onto the list, which bumped Smash Ultimate off. I had Smash Brothers on here. Hello?
Hi.
Are you
Wait, can you hear me?
I can hear you, yes. It sounded like you were giving me a pause because I admitted my love for Smash Bros.
No, I think that's totally fine. You know how I feel about that game.
Foolishly?
I was trying to I was trying to hold my tongue.
Hold back a gag.
Yeah, hold back some vomit pouring forth from my gullet.
Well, that happens anytime you open your mouth, so just let it go sometimes.
Wrong, false, disgusting.
Yeah, so I ended up putting God of War there, and number 20, what was number 20, Smash Ultimate, is now 21, I guess.
Huh, okay.
Number 18
So
is
you bumped it down.
Smash?
Yep,
Yes, I did.
yep. So it's not even on the list anymore. So you really don't like it that much, do you?
I'm about to I'm gonna send I have a legion of bats that I'm gonna send to your house, and they're gonna shit
Oh,
on
I think
you.
bats are adorable.
Nope, not when they shit and
And
pee on you a lot. Too
Guano,
much.
guano is great. Guano is fucking excellent for.
It's gonna go in your eyes and your mouth.
I'll go stand in the garden, and I'll spit it out onto my plants.
They're gonna pee on you also.
That's fine. I can spit that too.
They're also gonna try to mate on you, not mate you. That's disgusting.
That's fine. I think that would be a beautiful thing to witness.
And then they're gonna
firsthand.
they're all going to they're gonna gain consciousness, and they're gonna kill you for what they're gonna feel really embarrassed.
Yeah, wait, why are they? How are they gonna kill me? They're little tiny bats.
They're gonna swarm you and take you away, and then drop you from a tall height.
They're all gonna pick me up and then drop me.
That's fucking dark. That's so
Yeah, that's fucking Jesus.
All
Why are you doing this podcast with me? Oh my God. All because of the fucking Smash Bros.
No, not because of Smash Bros. Because you said a cross thing about it to me.
No, I just said you. I guess you don't like it that much if it's not on your list.
That's right. You said that you had the audacity to suggest that I might not like Smash Bros. And that is
No, as
you get
as
the death
much. I
penalty.
mean, and it's a fact. It's just factual, really.
No, but you're phrasing it in a way as to make it seem like I don't like it. I like it.
No. I think you're reading too much into it. I just said a fact. I just said it seems like you don't like it that much if it's not on your list. That's
Well,
all.
So I mean, the problem though is that the bats are already on the way. I can't stop what's about to happen. Can we just
God
finish
damn
this?
it! Are you fucking serious? Why, dude? You were so quick to send them that you shouldn't have this power.
I have
What,
the
are they gonna
power.
bust through the window?
I don't know. They'll do it. It's their fucking job. All right. You don't tell a Navy SEAL how to do his job. You just tell him what the
I
target
mean,
is.
you do. They give.
I
them
don't.
orders.
I'm sending my version of the
I
Navy
don't.
SEALs.
The Navy fucking bats.
Yeah, exactly. I just want everyone to know that I do still like Smash Bros.
Yeah, he just doesn't like it enough to have it on his list.
All right, I got him.
Just
I'm
saying.
gonna get him on the horn now. And I'm gonna tell him to hurry.
All right, guys, let's speed it the fuck up. I can't deal with this shit anymore.
All right.
Oh my god.
Number 18 is Shovel Knight.
Oh, Shovel Knight. I haven't played that, but people fucking love it.
Yeah, I really love Shovel Knight. I don't know, like, I know why I love Shovel Knight. I can break it down to you. I can tell you the algorithm that takes me from the point of playing it to the point of loving it.
Sure.
But it's like there is this extra sort of like character and nostalgia and just life that game has that I really like. That like it just had the personality and the sort of overall vibe. I really really like a lot.
Oh,
And
what kind of game is that? Like, what is the core gameplay? Like, what do you do?
it is like an action adventure platformer. It's fairly
Okay.
it's fairly linear. It's like DuckTales or kind of Mega Man E or something like that. Which is to say that it's not super exploration focused, which is how I like it. I don't like my exploration in 2D. I'm overwhelmed with 2D
Yeah.
exploration. I like my exploration
totally.
in 3 dimensions. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's fairly linear. It's pixel art. It's beautiful. It has a great sort of retro inspired soundtrack that is as good as anything you've heard from the games that came out in those generations. It's a really really great soundtrack. And it's just a super well designed and competent action platformer. I love it, and like there's a fair amount of customization insofar as like what Shovel Knight can wear. He has different armor sets that do different things, and there are different power ups that you can find or purchase or acquire. And you sort of like customize how you want to play by the different power ups you get, and it's just fun. It is a wonderful time every time they've come out with a bunch of expansions for it, and I bought I just basically bought the Ultimate Edition for like $15 one time.
Yeah.
And it came with everything, and like not even it came with the game and the promise of all the other expansions. Like the other expansions hadn't even come out yet. They were just like, hey, if you just buy the.
It was like a season pass thing.
Exactly, but they've been releasing
nice.
they've been releasing expansions for like 5 years.
Oh, that's really cool.
Dude,
that's a solid developer then.
Yes, Yacht Club. That's who it is, and they're awesome. Like they even do small indie publishing now because Shovel Knight was so successful.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so sometimes now these days you'll see a Yacht Club logo on a game that they're just publishing for a smaller developer.
Oh, that's super sweet.
Yeah. Meanwhile, they're working on their next game, whatever's to come after Shovel Knight. I can't remember honestly if they've announced it or not.
Oh, do you know anything about it?
I don't remember it.
Don't know.
Well,
Okay.
we can look into it later, but
I'm kind of curious.
Yeah, so that game, yeah, I just really, really like that game. Like one of my favorite video game moments from my 20s involves Shovel Knight. I got super high with some friends, and I came home and played Shovel Knight until the break of dawn by myself, and I just loved. It was an amazing experience, and ever since then, I've just fucking adored that game.
Really?
Yeah, through the expansion. I've never completed the Plague Knight expansion.
Okay.
Because I didn't love Plague Knight. I didn't love the way that Plague Knight played. But the King Knight expansion was fucking great. The Spectre of Torment expansion was fucking great. And of course, the base game Shovel Knight is the best of all of them. But,
right. Dude, I looked, so Yacht Club's next game, it's speculated that it is going to be a 3D game.
Really? Whoa.
Yeah, because of a job listing they posted for a 3D technical artist.
It's so cool. Like living through the indie explosion that started in 2007, 2008 with Bastion and games like that, and that carried through into the early and mid-teens, with games like Shovel Knight and Stardew Valley. I feel like we're post indie explosion now.
Yeah.
Because there is just a glut. There's too much. It's hard to pay attention to any of it when there's so much of it,
Oh yeah, you can't, dude. You can't consume all that. There's so many. I mean, and like really shitty games too. Like.
Yes, you are. So you are hoping that there will be some good curators of people who can point out the good shit. That's not going to be me. I play the games that I see other people recommended as good. I'm not really the guy to discover. I can't be. I don't have the time.
I would love to do something like that. Like like really short games too. I don't think I could devote like fucking 40 hours to a fucking indie game to find it be like really garbage, but I would love to just like fucking dig around and find some like super super cute like small games and just do that.
Yeah, and I want to be clear about what I meant when I say post indie explosion. I'm not saying that games don't come out that are as good as games that came out in there. I think they do. There are games that have come out in the past few years, indie games that are as good or better than anything that's come out since Bastion.
Oh yes,
like I'm not it's not a criticism of the quality. It's a criticism of how much, because there's so much, it's hard to pay attention to any of it because
Oh, yeah.
everything's pulling your attention. So it's harder now to find and play the good stuff than it was in those days, you know?
I mean, it's just like any form of media, right? You've
Right.
got too many TV shows, too many movies, too many content creators
Exactly.
on YouTube or Twitch or blah. Like, there's just so much. It's so oversaturated. It's hard to find
Right.
something
That's exactly
that really speaks to you.
Yeah. So, and so, yeah,
Podcasts,
we're
even.
dude, yes, we are doing it. And so, like, because of that, because we're like post indie explosions or whatever, the indie explosion or whatever, I'm still playing indie games at around the same rate that I used
Right.
to. But it just seems like I'm also missing a lot that I want to play, but I can't
Yeah.
because of time. Like, I see games that come along, like Omori came out and I wanted to play it and I still want to play it.
I still want to play it. It's on my to-play list.
Yes. And like there was something that fucking Phantom Abyss came out like 2 days ago and I want to play it, but I know it's going to be another one that just kind of comes and goes for me because
Really? How?
Probably, yeah.
You just don't have the time.
it's the time
Yeah.
thing. Like, I have the games that I'm streaming and I have games that I'm planning to stream, and I don't really play, like, I'll play games with my daughter and my wife, but I'm not playing single player fucking, Shovel Knight equivalent sort of experiences when I'm with Caitlin or my daughter.
Right. Absolutely. For sure. No, it's hard. I feel like if you're a full-time streamer, like you could maybe be afforded that luxury, or like if you solely played short indie games, you might be able to do that and get away with that.
Exactly.
But it's like if you're trying to do like fucking AAA like 80-hour fucking games, like there's just no way. There's no way. There's not enough time in the day, especially working a full-time job and shit. It's just not enough time.
That's right, because big games are only getting bigger. They're getting longer.
I know.
They're getting longer in the tail, which means they're getting content updates. In the same way that indie games get
Right.
content updates, they get
Yes.
content updates, and theirs are usually more time consuming.
Absolutely.
And all these are this is the best possible problem to have with games. I'm not bemoaning the way games are these days because, like, there's so much good shit. It's ridiculous how much good stuff there is now. Sometimes I just wish I wish there was one person. I wish I had Fairly Godparents so I could say, hey, what is the best game for me right now? Wanda?
Cosmo Kramer.
Yes, Cosmo Kramer. What one game speaks to me right now? Because I can't figure it out. There's so many there's millions of games saying, hey, I'm the one for you. Cosmo, what is it? You know me, you know the games. Tell me. And then he tells me.
There's got to be a tool like that, right? Like some sort of catalog of all upcoming and existing games. That
Yeah.
It's like, if you like this game, you'll like that. I mean, Steam does that to a degree with
Dude,
recommendations.
yes, but it's hard to get, like, how can you see any review as reliable, insofar as like are they saying anything
No,
in
it's
the
like
review?
it's like an algorithmic thing. Like
Based
they
on what
pointed
you
out
play?
based off the genre. Yeah, based off of what you play.
They're I mean, that's what Steam,
I don't know how good it is though.
right, well, that's what the Steam store does automatically. They
Exactly.
advertise to you for sure. And they tell you, even they're like, hey, you liked this game, why don't you try this one out? So yeah,
Right.
that often does work. Where it doesn't work though is in the magic I was talking about before, where sometimes I would prefer just to hear about what games are good right now, not even games that are directed towards my tastes, because, like, so often I want to try a new sort of thing. Like, I want to try a new kind of game. You know what I mean?
Right.
And that's where just having curators or critics or people that are consuming a lot of this stuff and can be relied on to give, a decent, and even if it's an opinion you disagree with, maybe, but yeah. And like I said, good problem to have. So much good stuff.
Good problem. No, it's great. I just want to find what I like.
Yeah,
I
dude.
just want to find what I will probably like easily. Without it being done by like word of mouth, right? I mean, and I guess that's just sort of a testament to like how important it is that like you catch a consumer's attention so much that they tell their friends about it, because that's oftentimes how people find new shit nowadays. Like,
Exactly.
that's how I found out about disco. I mean, that's how I'm gonna play Outer Wilds now.
Right. It's how we hope that, fans of this show tell that, it's what we hope for them. We hope that they share it with their
Right,
friends. And
exactly. Yeah, if you enjoy the show, please tell people. Like, that's the That's a huge way that the show will get discovered
Right. And so
and
like
grow.
it's almost like we have a curation problem, we have a discoverability problem in everything in life now. In everything, you
Yes.
know? There's
Yes.
so much because information is so easily spread these days. There's so much out there that
There's
humans
a ton of information.
right, we humans never had to grapple with this many options of anything ever.
Nope.
We're not adapted yet to having a glut of options to us, you know? And so like
Dude, yes.
the way that we evolve, I think, is that maybe not in perfect curation machines, but in a society, in a friend group, in a social space where we are more willing to share in experiences. Like,
Right.
hey, this thing is something that you may like, or let's do it together. Hey, you know,
Yeah.
instead of falling into normal routines of let's just do the same thing that we always do, you know?
Yeah, like let's experience this new thing. Let's try this out. Or like this is something I saw or heard of.
That may be the only way to fix the recommendation problem, because I struggle to think of a single area in life where, like, you know, as far as entertainment or luxury or you know, things that are outside of work, I struggle to see an area where it's not a problem. Like whenever I wanted to
Oh yeah, dude. I went down to like fucking New Orleans, right? And like I was asking you for like food recommendations or like stuff to do. Like I mean, I guess you could always like Google it or whatever, but it doesn't feel curated toward my particular interests, you know?
exactly, like you want to
Yeah.
be given recommendations on ways to spend your time and money that
By
are
somebody who like knows you and knows what
right.
you would enjoy. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Exactly.
That's gonna be a hard thing to solve. That's
It
a hard
is.
issue to
I
tackle.
really think that the only thing, I mean, I'm not discounting the amazing sort of strides that we can make in AI or whatever it
Sure.
takes. But like if we had a more sort of um I don't know I don't even know how that would fundamentally change interactions with people. Like I don't know
Mm.
how this problem is solved. What do you do with over information? Like what do you do with it? Have
I mean,
philosophers
the
figured
only
this
thing
out? I
the
don't think
only
they
thing you
have.
can do is like pare it down. You'd have to be able to pare it down. I mean, there are some things where it's just too much that like the human mind can't. I mean, it's like talking about the vastness of the universe, right? Like people cannot at a fundamental level understand things at that volume of that vastness. Like they can't.
That's exactly right. And that's kind
So
of
you have
like
to pare it down by relevancy.
right when I was talking shit about what E3 has become. That's exactly what I
Right.
mean. Like there are so
Yes.
many shows. I have an idea of which ones are going to be more valuable for my time,
Right.
but like I know that for every show I'm skipping, there's at least like one interesting thing they showed that I would have enjoyed.
Yeah.
And so like
Exactly.
there's no reliable way for me to get that information without just watching all those
Yeah,
presentations.
just watching them all.
You know?
Right. And that's a fucking ton of time because it's a ton of information.
Right. So it's
Like,
like
yeah, the only real solution is just you just have to pare it down based off of relevancy. As to like how you would do that, I couldn't say. Like I guess that's the age-old question.
yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it's not like this isn't really a new problem for us necessarily. It's just that it's never been so
It,
large, so profound.
it's growing in relevancy and importance.
I mean, it goes back to the same, like people, the fake news stuff. Like, how do we know who to listen to, who to rely on? How do we know that CNN is telling the truth? You know, that sort of shit. It's like
Right.
when everyone is saying different stuff and disagreeing over anything. How do I know which game is worth spending my time? Which $60 game is worth spending my money on? It's fucking
Right.
hard. It's hard.
It's so hard because that's a lot of fucking money to be blowing on something. If it's like Cyberpunk, you
Yeah,
know,
exactly.
that's a lot of money to blow on something that was, you know, super hype and like really buggy or whatever the case may be.
And no one wants to make that mistake very often. Like you don't want to fuck
Right.
that, because like if you get a game that's bad for $60, not bad like glitchy and like you can return it or whatever. That
Oh
which
yeah, but
actually
like
was the case with
bad.
Cyberpunk, weirdly enough. But a
Right.
game that you just don't like, at no fault of
Yes.
anyone. Like no one
Yeah, it just
messed
wasn't
up.
your taste.
Yeah,
Right.
there's like you just don't want to make that mistake very often. Like, this game isn't for me, but
No.
fuck, I spent $60 on it. What am I
And
gonna do?
luckily, Steam has that like refund thing if you play
True.
for like what is it like less than 3 hours, 4 hours.
It's
Like
pretty
you can return
short,
it.
but yeah,
It's super short.
that's the kind of thing that we would need for, you know, for most of
Mm-hmm.
those stores. But unfortunately, none of the stores have decent return policies outside of Steam. And even Steam's is
Right.
it's tricky.
It's a little steep. It's a little
Yeah.
steep.
It's tricky because like some games are less than, you know, so what do you do with a 6-hour game? You played 50% of it, you know?
Yeah, exactly. No, I think it's just like a flat. I mean, if I'm not mistaken, I think it's just like a flat time.
Exactly.
It doesn't matter. Like you could beat the game in 3 hours for some cases.
And if you start a Yakuza game, you might be just outside of cutscenes by the time you get done with the fucking first 3 hours.
Right. Exactly. There's some games that are like fucking Persona, dude.
Dude, yeah, you wouldn't even be outside of conversation in the first few hours.
Nope. Okay, so it's played less than 2 hours
2 hours, yeah.
within 14 days of purchase.
It's and that's like, you know, that's as good a return policy as I can think of in video games right now. But
they did say if you fall outside of those rules, they'll still take a look at it. So I mean, that's good. Cool.
That's a perfect. So that's the kind of
that's great.
That's the kind of flexibility you need with something like when you're talking about a game like Persona. Like another game, let's just look at my list I have here. In the first 2 hours of Shovel Knight, you've done a couple of levels. You know what that game is. Like
Right.
the return policy makes perfect sense for a game like that. But for a game like The Witcher 3 on my list
The Witcher, yeah, exactly. Like you hardly experienced anything within 2 hours.
So there has to be that kind of flexibility if you have any sort of ethical or whatever.
Yeah, no, I think they handled it pretty well with their return policy.
Damn, what were we fucking talking about? Hard to find games that appeal to us.
Yeah, we were talking about like fucking like recommendations and shit.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, then we started talking about return policies.
But like I think
Oh god.
I feel like when I look at like all the big trends over like the past couple of years insofar as this sort of stuff goes, not trends like clothing necessarily, though maybe there's something to say about those sorts of trends as well, but trends in entertainment, I feel like a lot of them have been organic sort of friend tells a friend sort of growth, you know? Unlike in decades previous where entertainment was just whatever the networks wanted to make. You know, not to say that they said fuck the audience, we're going to make whatever we want. They tried to understand what the audience
dude, and it was just like this is all that there is.
Yeah, this is what entertainment is.
This is a taco truck, we have tacos, versus like, hey, this restaurant's menu is so fucking huge, I have no idea.
Versus having a taco truck, we have tacos. That's what NBC or whatever the major network was. You know, that's what they used to be. Now it's every culture with every possible food item from that culture at the tips of your fingers.
Right. It's overwhelming. It's too much most of the time. Like, If I go to a restaurant and their menu is like fucking expansive, they got seafood, they got burgers, they got fucking chicken fingers, they got all this bullshit. Like, dude, it makes me just want to leave. Like,
dude, yeah.
There's too much. At that point, nothing sounds good.
Right,
like, nothing appeals to me.
That's how I felt about my busy schedule recently. Like, I just want to fucking sit down and do nothing.
Same. I just want to fucking chill for a little bit. It's been nonstop for like months now. Like, I just want to have like one weekend where I just like sit on my couch and eat potato chips for like a fucking solid 5 hours.
Feels so good. It feels so good.
I just want to binge trashy reality TV and like do nothing else.
Oh my god, I know. I totally get it. I totally get it. Like my version of that is I want to eat junk food and watch wrestling. Because I enjoy it. It's entertainment that I don't grapple with critically. Like I'm not watching it.
Dude, yeah. There's no like actual like super engagement, right? Like you don't have to be like it's not like playing a game where you have to like be thinking and like doing it's just like you can passively just sort of have it on. You don't even have to technically be watching it.
Dude,
it can be on.
I was talking to Caitlin the other day and we were watching just bullshit like that. It wasn't wrestling this particular moment.
Right.
It was like Ed, Edd n Eddy or something. It was just some bullshit on HBO Max from our childhood. And like, I was laying back tired and, you know, under the influence. And like I had one eye partially open. And that's the amount.
That's so funny. That was the effort I was willing to put in.
That's
being entertained.
Yep. That's what I want. I'm not.
Dude, I'm saying.
Yep.
Same. That's what I need right now.
It's so good. It's so good to be like halfway cogent.
Bro, absolutely, no effort toward engagement at all. That's literally like pure gluttony.
Yes.
Like it's so good.
I'm
I
not-
want it.
I'm not gonna. It's so funny because I was about to say I'm not gonna turn this into content. This isn't worth content. It is now because we're talking about it. But like that moment is so nothing, but it feels so
it's
good.
so good, dude. It's like, so you know how like you'll stare and you're
dude.
just sort of staring because like it feels good on your eyes, and you're not looking at it, you're not engaged at all, right?
Yeah.
Like your eyes are just there, like little jelly blobs existing, and it just feels so good to just like nothing.
I'm
Like
pretty
you cease to exist. It's so good.
I'm pretty sure that's our bodies telling us that we're too stimulated. Like we're too.
Dude, yeah.
We are too
Actually, that's a
stimulated.
good point. Dude, so I went out with a whole bunch of friends yesterday, like a fuck ton, 20, 30 people, and we had been out for like 8 or 9 hours, right? We'd been out super long time, like all hanging out, like going from
Mhm.
bar to bar. We went to make 3 different bars or something, but like toward the end of the night when it's rolling around at like fucking 5 in the morning or something, I found myself like there was this moment where a handful, like a small group, and I were all just sitting there, and we caught ourselves. We were all just staring in different directions silently,
Wow.
like no one was saying anything, and I was just like, guys, dude, we're like too tired. Like we got
Yeah.
too much going on. Like we're literally not even talking anymore. We're not looking at each other. Like I was staring at this sign that said something about peanut butter for fucking like 20 minutes.
Yeah,
Like,
you're just
I
you're just
think we're good.
existing.
yes,
Yeah.
exactly. Oh my god.
Yeah. Well, let me wrap up this this list I have. I only have 2 more here.
Oh shit, that's right. Okay.
All right, number 19.
Yes.
Mario Odyssey.
Alrighty. Okay. I've heard it's good.
That's the only other Nintendo representation I have on here. The closest thing to my 2 Yakuzas.
Wait, is Odyssey the cat one, or is that an older one?
No, Odyssey, the cat one is 3D World.
Okay.
Odyssey is the hat one, where you fucking throw your hat at people and you get sucked into their body, your soul.
It's not the cat one. It's the hat one.
Exactly, dude.
Oh
Your
my
s-
god, that's funny.
Your soul enters the fucking you can put your soul in inanimate objects like the Easter Island heads, or you can put your soul in people, other living creatures, and just run
What?
around.
That sounds kind of weird.
It's so good. It's like
really?
Mario Odyssey is the best Mario fucking 3D platformer there's ever been, in my opinion.
Jeez, I need to play more than Mario 64 or whatever it is. What is that one called? Mario whatever.
Yes, Super Mario 64.
Super Mario 64. That's right.
Yeah.
That's the only one I played
Oh, that one's still so
of
good.
the ones like that. I mean, it's fucking great, but I feel like I really need to try the others.
It doesn't hold up super well because whenever they made that game, they had one joystick on the controller, so the camera's fucked up. But if you can,
Oh, the camera never bothered me too terribly bad. Like,
Have you played it
I still got
recently?
my, yeah. I've still got my 64. I'll pick it up now and then. I still like it. I think it does fine.
dude, that's so interesting. Because you haven't played like Odyssey or Galaxy or anything like that.
That could be it. It could be I don't know what I'm missing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you need to play Odyssey. My favorite 3D platformers are Odyssey and then Galaxy. I didn't think it possible that a game would come out would be better than Galaxy, but Odyssey is so fucking good. It's really good.
Damn. Okay.
You can use your hat for like traversal things to jump on. It's so good. Anyway,
I'll have to try it.
and then my last one, my number
Yes.
20.
Drum roll. That
Was that good?
was really good. Yeah, thank you.
A really fast one.
It's so bad. It's just a single. It's just bah. It's just like a single sound. Exactly. So you know.
Just like a single sound that you play Corvo Atano in Dishonored 2.
Ah. Yeah. Dishonored 2 is. I thought you played a girl in the second.
There are 2 main characters. You can play as either. And I've done 2 playthroughs where I've played as both actually.
You can choose your sex at the beginning.
Well, it's 2 different characters. You play as one of the different
Ah.
characters. Yeah, so it's all
Whoa.
You play the same game, but basically
Okay.
something bad happens to one of the characters in the beginning of the game, and the character you choose is the one who gets out alive, or not alive, gets out unscathed. I'll say, or less
Wow.
scathed. I'll say.
But it's the same. It's the same game.
It's
though.
the same game.
Experience.
Yeah. It's just
Okay.
that people talk to you differently. Like they'll treat you a little differently.
That's cool.
know.
That's kind of interesting.
Like there are some characters that have been around and like that have been in the series for a while that are like either they're like, it's you, or they're like, what the fuck?
Mhm.
It's you? Question mark?
Yeah. Who is that?
Yeah, exactly. It's really good, man. So in my 2 playthroughs, I'm not no spoilers, but in my 2 playthroughs,
Sure.
I played as Corvo and I did a ghost run or like a pacifist run. No kills. I tried to avoid being
Oh,
spotted
that
by
sounds
anyone.
so fun.
It's hard as fuck,
Yeah.
but
But I bet it's super fun and fulfilling.
dude,
when you
it's
get it.
yeah, it's so good. Those games. You watched me play. You watched me play. Death of the
I've
Outsider.
seen you play. I've seen you play a little bit of Dishonored.
Yeah, Dishonored, Death of the Outsider, just the spin-off
Oh,
one.
sure. DLC or oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That game was so good, and the reason like 2 is on here because Dishonored is a spin-off game, even though it is fucking awesome. It's short. It's like maybe half as long as Dishonored 2. But also being given the option to do Corvo or Emily, it's just like you can play that game whichever way you want to, with whichever character, but they do
Right.
have different abilities. Like Corvo,
Really?
yes, Corvo has his moveset and Emily has hers. They're different. And they don't
Interesting.
really speak to different play styles, but in my fucking mind, in my play style, Corvo is
Right.
the ghost, Corvo is the pacifist, the unseen one, and Emily is the chaos, she's the kill. Like Corvo was my ghost run, Emily was my kill everyone run.
That's so
and-
interesting.
And both play styles were fun as fuck because with Corvo, it's all about silence, it's all about meticulous, it's all about doing the exact right move at the exact right time and being perfect.
Right.
It's all about being perfect. You got to have that one perfect run. With Emily, it's about I'm going to see how fast I can go and kill as many people as I can with her powers, and it's fun. It's so
that
good.
sounds fun. Yeah, just like totally different play
Yes.
style, I guess.
And again, you're going through the same areas. So the way that it worked for me was the first run, perfect. I learned those levels in and out. I know every fucking door. I know every path. And because they're big and complex, similar to
Right.
Dark Souls, similar to Hitman, they're open, they're large, all these different areas. By the time I get to my Emily run and I'm ready to kill, dude, I'm going through all the paths. I'm like, I know where this fucking guy is. I'm going to pick up that thing. I'm going to throw it at him. I'm going to shoot him with my tentacle. I'm going to fucking teleport over here.
I can't believe you went stealth first. Wouldn't it have made more sense to go like chaos than stealth?
Well, no, that's why I went stealth first because I wanted to I wanted to know. I wanted to have those levels down. You know what I mean?
Oh, okay.
And like that's the fucking mouse going through the maze to get the cheese. That's where at that speed I can like really soak it in and like know that level and understand that level. And then so when I get to Emily,
Oh, I
it
see what you're
feels
saying, I
so
see what you're saying.
free. Like it's like I know
Yeah,
what
yeah.
I'm doing and I'm just
Where I'm
flying
at.
through
Yeah.
murdering.
Everything.
It's so fun, dude. So that's number 20.
There it is. There's the list.
Wow. We didn't plan to do this. Didn't really talk
It
about what we
happened.
talked about.
No, everything
Talking
just
about?
happens, just like every episode.
Yeah, just the vomit out
It
of your
just
mouth.
flow. We just both vomit collectively onto our keyboards
For
and
hours.
Yeah, for like about 2 hours, and it works every time.
Yeah, mine is actually a text to speech, so my vomit hits the keys, and then my computer is actually generating the sound you hear. It's not my voice. This is my vomit hitting the keyboard. My computer generating my voice.
That's fucking incredible.
That's modern science.
Technology is wild.
So anyway, maybe they can adapt that tech into curation machines.
Yeah, they could, they could probably use that, right?
I have to, or they could do something like
Yeah.
vomit, like maybe clones or something at least.
Yeah, they could just drink it up like a little soda.
Right. If not clones, at least they could be refreshed.
At least, yeah, they could be nice and refreshed and rejuvenated for their next workday.
Don't forget to share this episode with your friends.
Oh yeah, everybody, please share with your friends. Don't forget to like us and follow us and rate us and review us and all that good stuff.
That's kind of like that. You sharing it with your friend is like you vomiting into your friend's mouth. You're giving
Right.
your
It's beautiful.
yeah, it's what you care about. It's what you have digested and loved, and you're giving it to your friends, saying, "Hey, I think you'll appreciate this
Here,
as well."
I think that you'll like this. I appreciated this to the full extent, and I want you to have it.
Some would say that's core to friendship, enjoying things
It
together.
is. Yeah,
do
that's why
that.
you have to tell your friends about the podcast.
You have,
please,
or it's not,
everyone.
or it's a fake friendship.